Well, hello, my silky friends. Yeah, the more I investigate these businesses, the more I get concerned about what is really going on in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and specifically with attorney Tom Winslow. So last time we looked at all of these companies, 15 at least, that have an address matching 11019 Ocean Highway, Pawleys Island, South Carolina. You will see things like Stephen Goldfish, attorney at law. You will see Goldfinch Winslow Group. But here is what we're going to concentrate today. And believe me, there are more than this. Church of the Redeemer of the Strand. Okay, so let's start by checking this out. Because remember what I said like weeks ago. I was always very concerned with the Dare to Care missions from J.P. Miller's church and missions in general, because it is an easy way to filter, hide, whatever, money. Okay? You can launder it. You can do all kind of stuff with it. So let's start with looking at who the Church of the Redeemer of the Strand is. So put that bad boy in Google, and what do you see? Well, here's one in Nashville. This is just Church of the Redeemer. And let me tell you, I did look at some of these. We'll go ahead and look at this one. But you will see that there is not anything, about another church. Any place that I looked, honestly, when it comes to this, I could not find anyone that is at the Strand in South Carolina. So I had even looked on Facebook and I came up empty. Now, what kind of church does not have a website, does not have a place to give, does not have a Facebook page or something that tells you what is going out? Now, I find other things like Faith Ministries of the Strand. Sorry about that. I mean, I see them in other states. Even when I went to Church of the Redeemer, there is not one listed for that location. So I was really at a loss. Who has a church like this with no internet presence? None. Because how are you going to get people interested and let people know what kind of church you are unless you have some kind of social media presence? So, interestingly enough, though, as I was searching for this, I came across this website, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina News, Inspired News and Reviews. So they have a whole lot of things on here, and I have actually referenced them before. But I came across this article from May 16th of 2024. So that's just a few days ago, really. Okay, let's read that title again. Pastor J.P. Miller's lawyer is registered agent for yet another church. Well, we just saw that. In the last video, what all he is the agent of. So I wanted to see, what are they talking about? All right. So here you can see that, he is the registered agent. So the news reached out to Attorney Winslow to determine who sat on the board of the not-for-profit church. Not-for-profits are not owned, but rather have a board of directors. And at the time of the writing, we were attempting to determine if Pastor J.P. Miller was on the Church of the Redeemer of the Strand board. Well, that would be interesting to know, because you would kind of think these two churches are affiliated, right? So they did text Tom Winslow. This is very interesting because, again, this goes back to Goldfinch Winslow and Winslow attorneys. Remember, all this stuff is lumped together. But I did find this interesting. The text says, trying to reach out to you about this. Did you buy Goldfinch out of this when you bought his half of the practice? Any help appreciated? Are you the owner or just the registered agent? I'm told you are both. The Secretary of State says you are the registered agent who sits on the board. Now, that's a very good question, and definitely one that I would like to know the answer of. Who is on the board? Originally, Senator Stephen Goldfinch and Attorney Winslow were both registered agents. Winslow bought Goldfinch out of half of his law firm several years back. The below states the notice of change of registered office at that time. Okay, so we had a senator involved in this. Attorney Winslow did reach out to us, but hung up when he realized we were calling. After not hearing back from Winslow, we reached out to the IRS website and determined the business was not listed on their site. You've got some of these other churches. Interesting. According to Identify, shell companies, also known as ghost companies, have a notorious label attached to them. That's because they're often used for illicit purposes, especially for money laundering schemes. Why this matters is because the FBI is looking at the bank records of those involved in this supposed unaliving, meaning Mica. Determining how monies have been moved could go to the motive as to why Mica is not with us, why she was quickly cremated, and a legal threat letter was sent out in attempt to keep this matter silenced. If you remember that from a couple of weeks ago, they were telling us all to cease and desist. So, trying to determine if Church of the Redeemer of the Strand is a shell company or a legitimate church is like chasing ghosts. Yeah, I found that out when I was looking. There is nothing online about the church registered by Miller's lawyer as operating in Horry County. Who did Winslow register this for? So let's look back at this. When Winslow purchased Goldfinch's half of the law practice, locals called the move a nasty split. We are still working to determine how much Goldfinch was paid. They don't have that in writing, but according to the Statement of Economic Interests, the required reporting for all elected officials through 2021, and Senator Goldfinch was an owner of Goldfinch Winslow Holdings and Goldfinch Winslow LLC. His private income from these sources is categorized as a draw from these LLCs that he owns. So shouldn't we be able to know? Beginning with the 2023 SEI report, which captured 2022 income, his private income changed to Stephen Goldfinch, attorney at law, and Trilogy Outdoors. This was also consistent for the Senator's 2023 reporting. Trilogy Outdoors is a marketing firm. So this is how Winslow became the agent and the owner for both of the businesses. All right? So yes, my question is why? Why is Tom Winslow involved with a church that does not seem to have any kind of presence, is not registered, and nobody knows anything about this supposed Church of the Redeemer of the Strand? It is very, very fishy. Why would you need so many businesses? And why a church? Now, that would be a 501c3, which would not be taxable. Would that kind of be like Dare to Care missions where, people give money, money comes in, you don't really have to report it because it's not taxable, you're not liable for federal income taxes. So, that is very interesting. You don't really have to give an amount or an account of anything, do you, Tom? Just wondering, who is the board on that church? And who are the members? Who attends? Can anybody tell me? All right, we're going to look at some other very disturbing things and continue the search of Tom Winslow's businesses in the next few episodes. So, in the meantime, whatever you do, stay safe, and for heaven's sake, just stay silky. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.